Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makak Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And salutations, peace, blessings, and safety unto the hopeful elect, especially in these times. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathon. Shalom, Mr. Brother Abiyah, with another lesson through the spirit, power, and mercy of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson unto the hopeful elect. Alright. And as always, these lessons, these shows, they go for myself first and foremost. Anything that I may speak on through the spirit, it's always me speaking to myself before anybody else. Okay, and this is a reminder to myself as well as to, brothers who may hear this video. All right, real men will be made known. We in the last days, things is about to get, if it wasn't already serious, it's about to get real serious. And in these times, you're not going to be able to fake the funk. You're not going to be able to hide behind a facade or a cult of personality or words. All right, that fire is going to be unmistakable. That fire being that adversity, that those troubling times that we coming into, when those times come, you're not gonna be able to act in that day. You're not gonna be able to just, have that gift of the gab. People make stuff sound good, but they really not about what they be talking about. And I'm not saying that in a carnal type of way. I'm saying that in a way of when it comes to this word, this truth. We have a lot of people out there who's talking the good talk, as far as having faith in the Lord and, enduring when that time comes. Of course, it all comes down to the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai giving us the spirit to endure. But when that time comes, man, that's why the Lord said, when I return, shall I find faith on the earth? Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? So, hey, the time is coming to where we're going to have to really show and act and practice what we've been preaching. This is the book of Job, chapter 40 and verse 6. Then answered Yahweh unto Job out of the whirlwind and said, gird up thy loins now like a man. Yeah, and this lesson was sparked as I was watching I was listening to a lesson from the elder Ariala out there in Dallas. Him and a couple of other brothers. They did a lesson entitled "Weak Men Make Bad Times," and they was going into how, the way, this society that we currently live in has emasculated all of the real men. All of the real men is turned out. They're feminine. They're effeminate, and as the term the elder used, sissified, man. But it's the truth. And you got men acting like women and women acting like men. Okay, and we not in the times that we once were in, when it was hands-on warfare. When we had to hunt with our hands and things like that. No, we not in those times no more, because we have certain resources and technology. But at the same time, when it comes to the mental aspect, when it comes to the spiritual aspect, these men are not men anymore. They've been turned into women mentally. Yeah, they're still physically men, but being a man is deeper and more complex than just the physical. Yes, that's a major part of it, because what makes a man different from a woman is, the different parts that we've been given, our makeup, our DNA, masculinity, testosterone, and so on and so forth. But being a man is more so a mental thing. You can be the biggest, strongest, buff, masculine looking man, but you can talk like a straight female and be into other men. So it's deeper than the physical aspect. It's a mental thing. It's a thing of actions. Are you living as a man? Do you think like a man? Do you move the way a real man moves? And in these times that we coming into, it's going to be made known who are real men. And by real men, I mean men of the Lord, men of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Those are real men who fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and is seeking the Lord and walking in his ways. That's a real man. Nowadays, a real man is stamped as a man with many accolades, money, cars, possessions, these different carnal things, man, that don't mean anything. All right, but back to Job 40, and I'm gonna read verse 6 again. Then answered the Lord Yahweh unto Job out of the whirlwind and said, gird up thy loins now like a man. All right, and just as the Lord said this to Job, do you think the Lord was only expecting this of Job? No, he's expecting this of all of us men, us Israelite men, us so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American men, because we were made in his image, and we're we supposed to be masculine, real men, okay? Because that's the spirit that we supposed to come in, that we was made to come in. It says, verse 7, gird up thy loins now like a man, I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. And nowadays, these men are, man, effeminate as hell, man. It don't matter how they look or what they got. You can see, you can see a man who has the appearance of being a strong, powerful, mighty man. But you never know what people is into behind closed doors. You never know what a person's mind is like. Proverbs 10:9. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. Right? And I'm going to go to the NLT for that and read that. Proverbs 10:9 in the NLT. It says, people with integrity walk safely, but those who follow crooked paths will slip and fall. Right. A man, that's another characteristic and attribute of being a real man. Walking uprightly. Okay? Being a person of integrity. Being a person who's honest. You get what you give. Oh, Salaki, you get what you see, I meant to say. Right? So a real man is gonna just be himself. He's gonna be an honest person. Right? He that walketh uprightly walketh surely. With integrity comes stability. Having integrity, being an honest person, means you keeping it simple. You keeping your eye single. Right? The word single means simple. And that's what we was told to do, man. Keep our eyes single. Right? Women, that's a characteristic of a woman. Is being complicated, being, fickle. A real man is sure of himself. A real man tells you what he means and means what he says. Right? It said, but those who follow crooked paths, you're being deceitful, you're not trustworthy. Crooked paths will slip and fall, man, because eventually it's gonna catch up with you, and you only hurting yourself. So it goes a long way, and it means a lot to be a person, a man, to be exact, of integrity. All right, it said, he that walketh uprightly walketh surely, man. Meaning safely, securely. Right? Stably. That means you stable. James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Okay, again, if you being fickle, you can't decide, you can't make your mind up. That's a trait of a woman. You ask a woman what she want to eat, I don't know, I gotta taste for this, but then again, I want that. I don't know what you think. No, I don't want that. And that's just a small example, but that's how men are. They can't make their mind up. It's a whole lot of ifs, ands, and buts in between, communicating. But when you talking to a man who's sure of himself and knows what he wants and is not afraid to tell you what he wants, they look at that as you being rude or you being curt, you being aggressive. No, I'm just being a man. I know what I want, and I'm gonna tell you what I want. I don't need to tell you or speak a whole sentence to you Just to explain, no, that's this Americanized mindset that's been branded upon us, man. If somebody asks you what you want and you tell them straight out, they look at you funny now. But if you like, oh, you know what? You make it sound good for them. You say a whole bunch of unnecessary words. They feel more comfortable. Man, to hell with all that. And the fact that men are fickle, man. This is the reason why women don't take men serious. The more masculine a man is, the more feminine a woman is going to be. So the fact that these women are so masculine nowadays, it can only mean one thing. These men are feminine. And a woman will tell you themselves, even though they like those type of men, even though they prefer those type of men, because they can get away with anything and they can say anything out of their mouth, they would tell you that they don't respect that man. Even though that's what they go for, that's what? That's being unstable, that's being fickle. You don't respect these type of men, but that's the type of man you go for. That's being double-minded. So for a man to be in that spirit, that's effeminate. Right? So a man of the Lord is going to be sure, man, especially when it comes to this truth. You're supposed to know that you have the truth. You're supposed to know that you're not going to turn your back on the plow no matter what. You're supposed to know that no matter what they, and by they, I mean Esau, Edom, these devils, no matter what they do or how they come up against us or how they try to demonize us and whatever other things that we have to face being in this truth, no matter what happens, you're not going to turn your back. You're not going to forsake Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because that means death, man. You have to be sure of this thing, man. That's why it says, man, he that cometh to the Lord, or they that come to serve the Lord, must prepare your soul for temptation, roughly paraphrasing. You got to prepare to be diligent, consistent, man. The scriptures say to be steadfast and unmovable. If you all over the place, you're not grounded in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, in the spirit, then you're going to be easily moved. But if you rooted, you're going to be solid. You're going to be stable, man. You're going to be secure. And in order to be stable, you have to be single-minded. Keep your eyes single. You have to focus on the goal, man. And the goal is ultimately salvation, man. So in order to get that mercy, we know what we have to do. A man is logical. A man is supposed to take action. But before that man takes that action, he plans out his steps. He weighs out all of the alternatives and the options. And then a man acts. But women move off of impulse. Women move off of emotion. A lot of men is doing that now. So women are not being properly led, properly guided. So everything is all over the place. Everything is unstable. The households is broken up because there's no real men no more. And that has a lot to do with Esau and how he's ruined our households and broken our households up. It's not all the man's fault. It's these women as well, but this is the to the men, man. Women gonna be women, man. They're the weaker vessel. We have to take control. We know that's not gonna be fully, it's not gonna take full effect in this time. But nonetheless, this has to be said through the Spirit. Proverbs 28:6. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. So it has absolutely nothing to do with money, man. Money don't make you a man. You may be favored. You may be highly favored amongst people, amongst women. But at the end of the day, those women are not gonna respect you because you don't stand for anything. You can have a certain amount of money in your bank account to where you secure and you don't really have no worries. And you can be getting all the women that you want, but you a dumbass. You a child mentally, or you're a feminine man. Nobody takes you seriously. They just around you. They just using you, milking you for your resources. I'd rather have respect and for people to look at me as a man of integrity than to have money and be shown fake attention, fake love. And I always had that mindset. It only got stronger coming into the truth. I'd rather be poor and be a man of integrity and have my morals than to be rich and to know I did some dirt to get that money, or to know that I'm not who people think I am. Because it's, you better believe, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of men who's looked up to, who's idolized, who can tell you that story. Right? Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. It's better to have integrity and be poor than to be rich and perverse, man, ungodly. Right? That's not what being a man is about, man. That's not what's gonna bring salvation. That's not what's gonna save you. Your money can't save you. But being a man of the Lord can. Proverbs 4 and verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. The word principal meaning the chief thing, man. Wisdom is a very important thing. The most important thing other than fearing Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. Wisdom, and it's not the wisdom of this world, by the way. It's the spiritual wisdom, the wisdom of the Holy Bible. Okay, the wisdom that's given from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's was the chief thing. But and getting wisdom comes from fearing the Lord. Why? Because it says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom can bring you riches. Not that you should desire those things, if it comes, it comes. If the Lord blesses you with that lifestyle, then, that's what it is. But that shouldn't be your focus, man. Your focus should be to get more understanding. That's why King Solomon was a great example when it came to wisdom and his mindset and his priorities. Now, when the Lord asked him, what he wanted, and he asked for the understanding to be able to lead the people and guide the people, the Lord gave him that wisdom, that understanding, that knowledge, as well as those riches and those things that he didn't ask for. That's why it says wisdom is far above rubies. Yeah, your riches can get you so far. It's a defense. It's something that can be used, but it's not something that can save you. You can have all the money in the world and still be unstable, and still be plagued in your mind. You don't think it's people? Why you think a lot of celebrities commit suicide? They got all that. They got the fame. They got the women, the lifestyle, the riches. Then did everything, then went everywhere, but they end up overdosing on something or blowing their brains out or something else, or just going nuts and just bugging out. Why you think they do that? The love of money is the root of all evil, but and wisdom can get you very far. It can possibly bring you salvation if the Lord sees fit for him. Verse 7 again, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Right? And the scriptures speak about, man, women being deprived of that wisdom. They have not been imparted that understanding. So that's another masculine trait, is having wisdom. The wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Knowing how to move, man, being prudent. Knowing what not to do, what not to be involved in, when to speak. Not being ruled over by your flesh and your emotions. Being able to have discipline, being able to, to be temperate in your body. And again, this goes for myself first. Being able to have control of your emotions. Our emotions, our lust, our thoughts, our words. That's having wisdom. That's being prudent. That's being, wise. That's being spiritual, man. A real man is spiritual. He's not carnal. Proverbs 16:16. How much better how much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than sin. So wisdom is much better than gold and silver and ruby and whatever else you may desire in this earth. Because wisdom can bring you those things. Wisdom can get you those things. But if you have all those things and you don't know nothing, you're blind, or you just believe in anything, it's just as good as not having it. Maybe worse, because you have all of those things. All you're gonna do is bring forth more destruction, more corruptness, more wickedness. You're able to do more wicked, when it comes to these celebrities and things like that. The only difference between celebrities and a nigga in the world is the fact that they can do more nigga things, more wicked things than they could when they had no money. So it's really worse. But if you have wisdom and you get all of these things, you're gonna be fruitful. You're gonna be, you're gonna prosper, and you can bring prosperity to others as well. You can be able to guide people and give people answers, things that matter beyond physical. Right? And the gold and silver is not going to save you in the day of the Lord's wrath. It's not going to. It didn't say gold and silver shall be the stability of thy time. No, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So if we keep fearing Yahweh Shem outside, the fear is going to bring forth action. That action is going to allow us to gain more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the Spirit. That knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in the time of, in those evil times, in those times of when everybody else is unstable, we're going to be stable. Sirach 2:1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Again, a man is supposed to be logical. A man is supposed to be or use reason. Verse 2, set thy heart aright, meaning get your mind right, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. And whenever, I've seen it many times, even with my own mother. Women are I'm gonna put it like this: a man is more efficient in enduring hard times, in enduring of affliction and trouble than a woman is. Which is why when things hit the fan, women they that feminine side comes out of them. No matter how hard I don't care if you're in the military. A woman is always gonna revert back to her nature when things get real. When times come that requires a man, they're gonna fall in, even if they try to take things into their own hands, man. They're gonna fail. Because a woman needs a man. Women need to be led. For real, women are like children, man. So with the lack, with the scarcity of real men in the world, We got these women feeling like they need to take over, that they feel the need to replace the men. And you have men letting them. That throws everything off balance. So when things get real in these times to come, and when the time of Jacob's trouble is upon us, what do you think is going to happen to these women? What do you think is going to happen to the men? Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Okay, a real man, a man of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, having that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, is not going to be easily moved. That man is going to think things through. First and foremost, call on and pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and be patient. If you making haste, that means you losing patience. But if you enduring, if you suffering, which that's what the word endure means, then first of all, suffering builds you up. A man can or is supposed to be able to go through things, even if it's hard, and wait for that opportunity to get out of that situation, or to resolve that situation, even if it means going through pain or discomfort for a moment. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And if you cleaving unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're not going and seeking something or someone else for guidance, for protection. You waiting upon the Lord. The scriptures say it is a good thing that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the Lord. So a woman, it's in a woman's nature to make haste. When women get in uncomfortable situations, they do the first thing that comes to mind that they think can make them comfortable or bring them or resolve a situation. And a lot of times it makes it worse. But as a man, you're supposed to use logic. You're supposed to be patient. Verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. And we coming into a time when we will be put to the test and changed to that lower state, man. We're going to be tried. So, a real man is going to be made known in that day. A real man is going to be stable. He's not going to fear. Don't get me wrong. We be still in this flesh. We going our flesh is going to have these different emotions and these different feelings. But that's why the wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our times. Because every time we think on the scriptures and what the scriptures say, what prophecy says, it's going to bring us comfort. And it's going to ease our anxiousness to the point to where we're not going to have to try to make a move. We're going to be like, okay, well, Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to take care of this. And the Lord is going to guide us in that day anyway. The Lord is going to put things in our minds so that we're able to, move in that time. We don't have to take things into our own hands. It's not going to work anyway. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right? And it takes time to purify gold. It's going to get real hot. It's going to get heavy, man. But at the end, it's going to bring forth, it's going to bring forth that virtue, man. It's going to bring forth honor. And you're going to be there. That's a beautiful thing, to be accepted in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's what this is all about. Pleasing the Lord, man. Doing the Lord's will. But in order to do that, you have to be a man. As the elder said, man, the Lord ain't dealing with no, he said something along the lines of, the Lord ain't dealing with no sissified men. You have to come to the Lord as you were supposed to be, in a masculine form, in a masculine sense. The scriptures say, without faith, it is impossible to please him. In order to have faith, you have to be stable. In order to be stable, you have to be in the spirit, man. You have to trust. And if you unstable and walking around with this effeminate mindset, this fickle mindset, you're not gonna get too far. You're not gonna be able to please the Lord. 2 Timothy 2:3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh. All right, so we coming into the time where we're gonna have to endure that hardness. But as it said in Sirach, acceptable men are made in the furnace of that adversity. So that hardness that we endure is going to make us hard. It's going to make us pure. It's going to make us to be accepted in the eyes of the Lord. Lord, the scriptures say, put off now the weak nature, right? And that takes effort. It takes the spirit. It takes patience, man. It's not gonna be no overnight thing. You can't just wake up one day and this is a process. But we have to give our diligence, right? I just wanted to go into that real quick. Again, the elder Ariala lesson that he was doing with the brothers sparked this through the spirit. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakapradash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, blessings, and safety unto the hopeful elect. And DTA, Abba, Ball, Wakwam, Yashala. Shalom.